How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about our brand new free-to-play unit that is coming out, which is going to be March 7th's Hunt Path, which I think is very exciting for the most part, especially since we're getting a brand new character for free. And not only that, a really interesting character that we're probably going to see a 5-star version of very soon, or at least in more soon-ish times that we're going to be looking at a new character come out, just because I think this March is a really cool indicator for what characters we're probably going to see in the future, especially with how universal she is, how many different builds she can run, how many different teams she can be on. It's a lot of really cool stuff that we're going to see with this March 7th, and I cannot wait to go ahead and explain all the things in her kit, because we do know from the stream and also from some showcases as well, which I'll have some of my own very soon. But before we get into all that, make sure you like, comment, stuff, all the different type of stuff, and let me know how excited you are for March 7th, because of course she's going to be free. So I'm really excited to see her come out and also try her out when it comes to showing her off in the showcase. But going on to March 7th, she is going to be a Hunt imaginary unit, and of course the way we've been seeing a lot of these characters come out for the Hunt class, we've been seeing the roles of something like Boo Hill, something like Topaz, something like REHOO, and she seems to be a little bit of a mixture of everyone in all honesty, just because of the way she's built up as a character. Looking at the Hoyo wiki, we can see that she has a lot of aspects to her that help her be in not only a break effect style team, but also within a crit damage based type of March build as well. So the main gist of how she's going to work is that she will be using her skill to designate a Shifu, I think that's how they're saying it, or a master for the most part, and based on the path that you are going to be giving this to when it comes to not only destruction, hunt, and erudition, so basically all of the damaging classes, she will be able to do 20% more damage when it comes to her attacks. And then if you pair her up with someone that's harmony, nihility, preservation, or abundance, she gets more toughness reduction instead of the damage, which is a really nice thing. So it's a cool thing, and I think this is something we should 100% look forward to, is that we are going to see different path restrictions for different portions of their kit. And seeing how this is being worked on right now, where you're getting a break march if you go ahead and pair up with the harmony, nihility, preservation, or abundance character, or a crit damage march if you're doing erudition, destruction, hunt. This is a really cool thing for future characters coming out. And once this happens, and there's going to be more 5-stars that will eventually have this style of kit, or they have dual typing or dual path restrictions that they can go for when it comes to their kit, we're going to be opening up a avenue or niche of characters that are going to be absolutely monumental to an account's value, just because these are going to be characters that will always be useful on many different teams and can be used on a bunch of different game modes. So they continue to do this route where they have a bunch of characters either to do single target damage, or let's say you pair it up with the nihility character, now they do debuffs, or maybe you pair it with the harmony character, now they do buffs. There's a lot of really crazy stuff that can happen based on this type of mechanic, and I'm very glad that they're making a, I guess you could say, character right now for March 7th, because as you know, in a lot of these gacha games, they usually show off a free-to-play character with these brand new mechanics to gauge the interest of how we would like characters to be in the future. And if a lot of us are liking March 7th, well, we'll probably see a lot more March 7th characters in the game, or a lot more characters that are able to change their kit on the whim of attaching themselves to a different character, which I think is just a super cool feature to have onto somebody, where you're able to stand alone as your own character, but based on your teammate that you're choosing, you have a lot of different avenues in the way you can build and the way you can use the team. This is just overall a really cool thing to see. So of course, as I said before, she can be run as a break DPS or also a crit DPS based character, just due to the fact that depending on who you attach her to, they're going to end up giving her some bonuses for each other portion of her kit. One really cool thing about her as well, she will be buffing the master out, or the Shifu out, which they will be getting a speed bonus as well when you end up using the skill on that ally. So that's a really cool thing that she's going to buff, and she's also going to attach herself to that person to allow them to be able to give her certain portions of her kit and have them be boosted. One other really cool thing about the Shifu, or the skill on top of it, is that she will be given the same weakness type as the character she's attached to, which I think is overall a really interesting thing. This is overall just having March synergize with whoever you want on that team, especially when it comes to, let's say, something like Firefly, or maybe even Boo Hill. You have characters that are able to take the weakness type of your allies while your other allies are probably doing the same thing. Like how we have Firefly, she's able to have a technique where she's able to give everyone fire weakness on the waves. And with that being said, you have Gallagher, you have REHOO. Guess who else you could put on the team? Unless you want to run Super Break, which you probably want to do, but this is for example reasons. You want to have REHOO, you want to have Gallagher. Now you put March 7th, and now she has fire weakness as well. Now it won't do Fire Break, which is all honesty okay, but she will have the Fire Break, so she's able to crack no matter who you go against. So this makes March 7th not only one of the most versatile and most universally able to be used characters, just due to the fact, again, you can change her kit on a whim. She is able to match the weakness type of the ally she attaches herself to. This makes her able to brute force whatever contest she wants, because all you have to do is match one character to the weakness type of the enemies, and then March 7 does the rest. March 7 is able to take, let's say, fire weakness, ice weakness, any of these weaknesses, and go ahead and help them break them as well. Now you won't get the respective break when it comes to, let's say, March being able to break a fire character. You won't get a fire break. You will still get the imaginary weakness broken effect, but that is still a really good effect to have on March 7, and that's a really good strength for her to have, because as we may know, a lot of the super break mechanics and a lot of the break mechanics as a whole really want the enemies to be delayed, or really want the enemies to take a long time before they get their toughness bar back, just so that we can use the super break mechanic. And the fact that she is imaginary and she's able to do imaginary break no matter what, this is going to help out a lot, especially when you have someone like Harmony MC, we have someone like REHOO. You're able to keep on the super break as much as possible because March 7 is able to do the imaginary break. So there's a lot of really good things that come with March 7, and for her other talent, she's gonna have March 7's actions advanced forwarded by 25%. Really cool, makes it really nice for speed tuning. This is going to be a really cool thing to see, because that means when we start the battle, she will most likely be the person at the very top. And not only that, that also means that we will be able to designate who her master or Shifu is going to be at the start of the battle, so that we have zero downtime on her actual buff. So this is a really cool thing to see. And then she also buffs up her own crit damage. Oh, actually, I am wrong. She buffs up the person she's attached to's crit damage and break effect when she uses an enhanced basic attack, which is done by getting these stacks from her skill, which is whenever the master or the Shifu is attacking and they get to 7 attacks, March 7th will skip the action line, get to the very top, and do her first enhanced basic attack, which I think is just a really cool thing for her to have, where she's able to do action advance. She has different kits, she has different builds, she can attach herself to a character, buffing them with crit damage and also speed, while also taking on their weakness element too, without necessarily being that type of weakness or being their fire, ice, wind, anything like that. She's still imaginary at the end of the day, so she has 2 weakness types, which I think is super cool. The fact that you're able to have 2 different weaknesses when it comes to imaginary and also, let's say, fire, let's say ice, let's say wind. It's a lot of really cool stuff that comes from this, and this can definitely be a very viable character for a very long time, and someone I can see being used for a good amount of it, because I know a lot of people are going to use March, a lot of people like March, and I definitely can see, as far as it goes to 5 stars, we are definitely going to get more 5 stars that are able to do this type of mechanic. And I think when that happens, it's going to be very fun, because we're going to have characters that have so much use, so many different roles, so many potential builds, that this is going to make it a bit of a breath of fresh air when it comes to the meta that we've been seeing, where a lot of characters are stuck in their one role, a lot of characters are relegated to a power level based on what they have in their kit inherently. But if a character like March were to come out with dual typing, weakness matching, or anything in regards to character switching on the kits, just a lot of really cool stuff to see. And not only that, you also can include how March 7th is going to be a hunt character, which we know that she has her preservation version. So this opens up the doors. Of course, we already have Don Hung and a River to Lune, where we have hunt and destruction. Now we have hunt and preservation for March 7th. I wonder if they're going to go down the line of being able to give multiple characters that we enjoy or fan favorites different paths. That way we can use them more than one time, or have them being used if we don't like their original path. Let's say for Yanqing, we really want Yanqing to look cool, so instead of a hunt character, we change him to where he's a little bit more grown, he has more powers, and now he's a destruction character. I think that is a very cool thing to look at, and a very bright future for Star Rail if we continue down this path of changing kits, of having matching kits, changing on a whim of what you can do and how you can do it, changing builds, and also of course characters getting brand new paths. I'm 100% down for it. I think it's a really good system, especially able to allow us to use characters that we really like in the game. But for the most part, that is going to be it for this video. I am really excited for March 7th out of a lot of these characters, in all honesty, just because of how unique she is, and of course that she's free, which is 100% the best thing in the world for almost everybody here. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all in the video. I'll see y'all guys in the next one, and peace.